What's up, everybody? I'm gonna make a video today. I've been wanting to build a stand for my laptop to raise it above my working surface because it gets really hot because I edit in Adobe Premiere Pro. So it takes a lot of power and it ends up getting really hot down here. And lately I've just been using this ruler, so I put my laptop on the ruler, and that does help. But I mean, it feels not great, and I just want something a little bit better than this little ruler. So I'm gonna go find some wood and try to build something better than that out of wood that I can use as a little razor. Let's go. So first I'm gonna measure my laptop so I don't get anything fucked up. So it's like 14 inches by 9.5 would work because we're kind of going off of these bottom nubs. We're not really going off of the actual size. So now I'm not a massive woodworker, but I've built some stuff in the past and I've used wood a lot in my life. So I think I can figure it out. So I have like two ideas. One of the ideas would be like just a big plate of like really thin plywood, and then has like a little ledge here so the computer can't go any further, and then just like either cut out a bunch of like long holes or do a bunch of little holes, like that kind of a thing. Or I was thinking just have a backboard and then a sideboard to hold up the side, and then a front board to hold up the front, kind of like that, so it sits on top of like a empty frame, kind of. I think this one's a little bit better because this one would still like let less air out, and the contact between the plywood and the metal in some areas would be probably too much. But this lets the whole thing be breathable, and I might even still drill holes like back here to like let even more air in. I want it to be as breathable as possible, so that's probably out, and this is probably what we're gonna do. Let's get into it. So I got a piece of old barn wood, but it was like a truss in our old barn, so it's been dry its whole life. So it's a good, solid piece of wood, but I got some nails in it. So we gotta get the nails out and then cut it down to size. So when I was cutting this board up, I didn't measure anything. I just started cutting it, trying to feel where things were in the board. I see right, one of these shots you can see right there is the big knot in the middle of the thing. I didn't want any of that. So I was trying to cut around that and just find a good medium where I knew I wanted to cut all the edges off. I didn't want any rough edges. I just wanted it to be all fresh wood. But yeah, nothing was measured except for the length, but the width I just kind of went with it and tried to make even pieces for the sides. So this kind of looks like it'd be a good back plate, and these could be a good like side plates, like kind of like that. So I kind of want to notch out where those would go, if that makes sense. I gotta cut these to length though now. So now I'm gonna mark the cut out of these pieces on the front of this piece, so I can cut that out. And the same one over here. So obviously right off the bat, I've notched these way too much. And if I could redo anything on this project, I would definitely re-notch because I just cut too much. So now we got 2 notches. Now what we need is an end piece that holds the laptop on. So it needs to be a little bit higher than that. So you can see me once again just like recutting and recutting, trying to find the perfect size and shape for the plate that's going to hold the laptop on the thing so it won't slide off. I just kept making it a little bit smaller. It's just eyeballing it, you know what I mean? That's how I like it. Okay, now I'm going to sand this, I think with 150. Then I sanded everything down and got the edges off so there's no sharp edges. Then I wanted to drill these as big a holes as I could. I went with a 3/4 inch bit to drill out these big holes in the back plate to let airflow come in from the back. And then I just burned it with this little, to make the edges nice and crisp and to give it a nice burnt look, I used that little orb. This is the basic idea. So these holes will let air in. Should be kind of cool. I know I should probably use wood glue, but I've never like been one for using wood glue. It's never really worked really well for me. So what I'm gonna do is drill holes, put wood glue, and then use a screw, and then I'll go back and I'll sand the nooks and crannies, then I'll, varnish it and stuff. I really just hate just wood glue, you know what I mean? I feel like it'll just break apart and stuff, and I want something that'll stay really well together. Then I started gluing and screwing in at the same time, and you can see there's those little gaps there in between the back plate and the side plates. I wish I would have recessed the screws a tiny bit more in the front plate because they stick out a tiny bit, and you'll see that in the end product. But yeah, I should have just recessed them a little bit more so I could cover them with some glue and sawdust. That's all together. Super lightweight, pretty strong feeling so far. So right here, I'm scooping glue up with a really thin piece of wood, putting it in the crack, and then snapping it off to fill the gaps. I think it was a great method. It worked pretty well. I used sawdust and glue to fill in the rest of the cracks and then sanded them down with 150 grit. So I let it sit for a couple hours. All I did then was I sanded down the excess glue and then started varnishing it with linseed oil. Just finishing it up, getting it nice and oiled up. Looks super nice. So I really like the burn touch that's in these holes. So I think that's it. Now I'm just gonna take another towel and take off the excess. This is a lot of fun to build. Now we'll go take this inside and set it up. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I had a lot of fun making this thing, and I might make another one for my girlfriend. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.